a wish.
So, how was it in there? I can see from the evidence you gathered that the memory showed strong emotional readings that point to a pleasant memory. Then again, even happy memories can be locked away for good reasons sometimes. There are at least 2 areas close by that hold memory fragments. These should lead us to more core memories, and hopefully the artifact. From my notes, it seems that you'll need to follow the river further up the valley and see what we can access there. We best get to move on.
At least we don't have to go all the way up there.
The area of the mine that you've just entered seems to be outputting a variety of important memories. They're also seems to be a strong signal coming from within it that appears to be in line with what we'd expect from the artifact. The item we're after to make you stronger. With dementia, it's often the patient's short-term memory that begins to falter first. We can use older memories as a seed to help rebuild and validate our patient's life story. The artifact should also help us to avoid another relapse, whilst allowing us to target the amyloid plaques that cause our patient's brain cells to die in the first place.
Are you sure he was red? It just doesn't make sense.
Well, I must say, I'd hoped this case would have been solved by now. I know, I should take some of the responsibility. But I have given you every resource imaginable to complete this restoration. Just remember that all of this funding is lost if you don't do your job effectively and find that artifact.
Words echoed around the polished wooden room. 16 years old. You know what that means.
It seems that the patient is getting a little agitated. Not to worry, though. They always get worse before they get better. With that said, I have been warned about, well, pushing these experiments too far. But I feel like I can trust you. You will keep this just between us. Years. I've placed 3 whole years of my life into this research. I have sacrificed so much. Patients with these specific symptoms of dementia and at this stage don't come along often. And to be told that after 3 years of hard work and waiting that I have only 9 days to yield the results that they want. Who the hell do they think they are? It's not my fault. I can only work with the restorers I'm given. You know, in the last 3 years of experimentation, I've worked with some very good restorers. Yet, none of them had the heart or the mind to get as far as you. I hope that you succeed where the others have failed. Our chances of continued funding rely on this. You won't let me down now, will you?
It's not going to get any better. This isn't going to get any easier for anyone.
It says here that arsenic was a very useful byproduct of the tin refining process and is still used in many medicines and foods. The miners ground and burnt out any unwanted materials and then exported it for money. But in these quantities it was extremely lethal. Accidents here were often fatal. Let's find out what happened here.
Life is slower and easier. The savings could be spent on our retirement or living comfortably.
Did I ever tell you about an old colleague who once worked on a series of classified experiments? They deprived subjects of sleep in an isolated room for 3 days, before instructing them to carry out a harmful act on another subject. Desperate for the sleep they were promised, they would instinctively carry out any command ordered by a lab coat, regardless of how immoral the action was. Funding was cut due to controversy, but still,